it's just the whole motherhood issue. It's like I was I'm 30 years old, and I feel like, we the first generation, those of us in our age group, that we're like severely neglected. The 80s like stole a lot of our mothers away from us. So I'm like the first person generation in my family that can say that I haven't learned how to be a mother from my mother. I learned how to be a mother from probably television. As a child, what I thought a mother was supposed to be, I probably learned from television, and I probably learned from fairy tales. And right now, as I grew, I learned from reading books that weren't written by people from my culture. And now I'm learning how to be a mother through the scriptures and through a lot of the vlogs and the blogs, the blogosphere, the media, and the ideas that are presented on YouTube. Because, through the scriptures, I can filter that information. And that's helping me become a better mother. And that's really my goal, to be the best wife and mother that I can be. Um, but those goals are down upon in the black community. And if you are the type, whether you're a Hebrew Israelite, or whether you're the type of person that's like think that we can heal our culture, or I guess it's what type of culture do we live in where being a wife and a mother is considered radical? I have told women that that breastfeeding is a good thing, and they ask me, does that hurt? Is that doesn't that make you feel nasty, or something like that, to that nature, where they have a negative idea about breastfeeding. Just taking care of your kids. I know homeschooling is considered radical, but it's also, parenting. There's a lot of parenting involved in homeschooling. Homeschooling is more parenting and probably less educating. And because the values that you're putting, the attention that you're giving your child, and the effort that you're putting into your household, just to make the homeschooling go smoothly, just to make to the effort that you put into your time management and your lesson planning, and the care that it takes to even just do that alone, just so that you can introduce an educational subject or a scholastic subject. That alone really lets your children know, okay, you're the person, you're there for them. And what I'm finding so sad is that women prefer to just drop their children off at daycare and then put the energy into themselves. And they have 3-year-old K3 here, and that's astonishing to me. A lot of people end up having deep-seated emotional problems and hatred for people and hatred for themselves, and a lot of that stems from separation anxiety as a child. And so we have like a whole lot of our children that's in government ran daycares. And really, for what? Because a lot of these women, that are in the workforce, and single parents, whatever the case may be, because I can understand the argument that I have to work, but then I can understand the argument too that, okay, but your child comes first. I'm not telling people that they shouldn't work at all or that they shouldn't provide for themselves at all. But we have to look at how we work. We have to look at what type of jobs we are taking. And why are they compromising? Why are they preventing us from being good mothers? Okay? We have to start opening ourselves up to some more creative thinking. Like when I was younger, especially like 14 years ago, when I had my first son, the first thing my mother told me was like, okay, you either gonna have to get on welfare or get a job, and you need to go to work. You can't sit around here all day, with your child. I was never presented with the option that I could go to school from home. I was never presented with the option that I could work from home. I was only presented with the options of putting my child in daycare and basically abandoning my child and not being a mother, or relaying the job of motherhood off to somebody else. And then I was applauded for that. When I did do that, I was applauded for that. So I continue to do it and continue to do it on higher levels and continue to get praise. Now, when I decided to quit my jobs and stay at home, especially after I got into the truth, I was reprimanded for that. I was reprimanded for marrying my husband, whom at the time was unemployed. I was reprimanded for that. I was reprimanded for leaving my job when he did, find some employment and I was able to stay home and take care of the kids. I was reprimanded for that. I was reprimanded for having more children, for getting pregnant again 2 more times. I was reprimanded for that. And society reprimands us. They tell us that we doing wrong. We doing the wrong thing. They want us to be, they say we abnormal. We're radical, and try to put us in a basket of mixed nuts who want to be at home with their children. And then that's like spawned entire what I feel like is a culture of people who hate children, who hate being mothers. I mean, they really, really, really hate being mothers. And then a lot of women who have to be in this society, that's why women are killing their babies. Because they coming home from being reprimanded, for having children, and they beating themselves up, and they like, why am I stuck at home with a baby? And I done heard women tell me that, like, oh, you just mad because you stuck at home with a baby. You stuck at home with all them kids. Or I've been accused of being mad because I'm stuck at home with all of these kids, but I don't consider myself stuck. I'm like, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to ready my children. I have to protect them. I have to do this for them. I have to put my wants and my needs aside. And a lot of these women, they're not doing what they're doing out of necessity. And I hope they would, stop participating in lying, stop participating in this foolery. I mean, they're actually fooling themselves and have convinced themselves and try to convince everybody else that they're doing what they're doing for their children, when I know for a fact they're doing it out of greed and materialism and self-centeredness. And self-centeredness. So that's how I feel about it. We live in a society that teaches us if you hold your baby too much. This is specifically what I was told. If you hold your baby too much, that baby is going to be spoiled. If you breastfeed, nobody wants to keep your baby. Now there's a whole lot of research that says you should hold your baby. You should do skin to skin contact as much as possible. It's beneficial for your baby. They tell us if you breastfeed, nobody's going to keep your baby. You'll never get a job. And that's a lie. You know. So black women, you know, raise your own kids. Raise your kids. Be at home, raise your kids, and take care of your families first. Put your family first. Shalom Yashala, this daughter of Jerusalem 7.